All right, let me share my screen again. I'm sorry, but I'm going to read over it again. Okay. So, wrestling with God or ourselves. Have you ever wrestled with God about anything? Uh, Jacob wrestled a lot. He wrestled with his brother before they were born and during their birth by grabbing him by the heel. Genesis 25:22 through 26. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And this thing is in my way. Whoops. Let me try this again. Okay. So I know a lot of the newer, younger generation uh, may not realize that actually not that long ago even, but in the old times, in the Bible, um, the eldest son always was the one that received the most and was in charge of the family. So Jacob's name actually means heel catcher or supplanter. To supplant, according to Merriam-Webster, implies either dispossessing or usurping of another's place, possessions, or privileges, or an uprooting of something and its replacement with something else. God revealed to Rebekah before their birth that the older would serve the younger. Throughout Jacob's life, he deceives or outsmarts his brother, his father, and father in law. God was aware in advance of Jacob's actions and the person he would ultimately become. In Genesis 25:29 through 34, and Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Esau not only held his birthright in low regard, but Jacob also deceived him to obtain it. Then again in Genesis 26:1 through 27, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, and that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. She put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, let's see, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And the part that I didn't include was that Isaac was blind. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him. Here Rebekah, because Jacob was their favorite, convinces Jacob to trick his father so Jacob would receive Esau's blessing. So not only Jacob, but Rebekah was in on this deception and lie. Jacob chose to go along with it, and they succeeded in their endeavor. When Esau returned from hunting with the venison for his father, he and his father quickly realized that Jacob had tricked Isaac and stole his brother's blessing. Here's Esau and Israel's response in Genesis 27:34-41. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren I have given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Rebekah learned of Esau's intentions and advised Jacob to escape to her brother Laban. She convinced Isaac that Jacob should not marry from the local women, which led Isaac to send Jacob to Laban for a wife, blessing him with the promise of inheritance from Abraham. During his journey, Jacob had a dream where God assured him of his presence, and the land he rested on would belong to him and his descendants. As Jacob traveled, he met Rachel at a well and fell in love with her. Initially, it puzzled me why God would choose a deceiver like Jacob to carry out his promise. The narrative continues with Laban tricking Jacob into marrying Leah, requiring Jacob to work for 14 years to marry Rachel. When Jacob sought to return home, Laban urged him to stay longer, as Jacob's presence brought blessings to Laban. Jacob then devised a plan to gain Laban's livestock by requesting the speckled and spotted animals, manipulating their breeding to produce more of the same. Eventually, Laban's sons grew resentful, claiming Jacob had taken everything, prompting God to instruct Jacob to return to his homeland. Once again, Jacob outsmarted someone, this time his father-in-law Laban, yet God reassured Jacob of his presence. I found it puzzling that God would choose a deceiver to carry out his promise to Abraham. As I listened to this story in the scriptures daily, my confusion grew, especially since I had been mistreated by several men who took advantage of my kind and trusting nature. Additionally, I recognize that Satan is also a deceiver. I struggled with these thoughts until I continued to immerse myself in the scriptures. Jacob sought the Lord's help to save him from Esau, expressing his deep concern for his own life and the safety of his wives and children. Driven by fear, he arranged substantial gifts from his flocks, sending them ahead in groups to create distance between each. Finally, Jacob sent his family across a brook while he remained behind to spend the night alone. Genesis 32:24-32. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. That makes me think, ouch, because of my recent hip surgery. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and thou hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. And I apologize, I am a speed reader. I read even faster when I'm not reading out loud. So Jacob's struggle with God for his blessing is truly astonishing. even though I've encountered this story numerous times since childhood. While Jacob's fear of Esau was a factor, his determination to seek God's favor inspires me. I aspire to wholeheartedly serve God, yet I often find myself wrestling with Him over various issues. Am I seeking a blessing or clinging to something I know is wrong? I've experienced both sides of this struggle. My goal is to emulate Jacob's commitment in my relationship with God and resist the pull of sin. I'm going to quote something by Donna Jones that I found in my research and study on the topic of wrestling with God. It's really good. God's blessing comes to those who hold on to God with every fiber of their being, even as they wrestle with God over the very fabric of their believing. In the past few weeks, Jacob's words have become my words. I will not let you go. Even in the wrestling, especially in the wrestling. Are you wrestling with God over some issue, dear friend? Some question, some concern, some heartache or setback or circumstance? If so, make up your mind. No matter how much you wrestle, pronounce Jacob's resolve over your life and your faith. I won't let go. I won't let go of God's character. He is always good. I won't let go of God's word. It is always true. I won't let go of God's faithfulness. He will never leave me nor forsake me. I won't let go of God, period, no matter how I feel or how things look or what others say. Like Jacob, I will declare I won't let go until you bless me. And this really touched me, and I want this to be my prayer. I want this to be my life, that I won't let go. Despite Jacob's deceit in taking Esau's blessings and outsmarting his father-in-law Laban, God still chose to bless him and use him for his purpose, even changing his name to Israel. Just like Jacob, we all share in the sinfulness that originated with Adam and Eve's disobedience. If God can work through a deceiver to bring about his promises, he can certainly do the same for each of us if we allow him. I am grateful for God's promises and their fulfillment, as well as for Jesus' sacrifice that covers our many sins. It is essential for us to fully surrender to God's will and release our own desires. Luke 11:9 and 10. And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. So we really need to be like Jacob and consistently and never stop asking and knocking. Lord, please help me to be like Jacob in my efforts to be like Jesus. I hope this study helps you as much or even more than it has helped me. God bless you all in Jesus' name. And there's some of my references. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.